And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Tesla vs. Edison, War of Currents. And this is from Artipia Games, formerly Conquistador Games, the same guys who brought you the new science. And I'm very interested in this because I like historical themes. I think historical themes are very intriguing. Tesla vs. Edison and all the other guys involved in bringing electricity and the different things. I think that's a great idea. Now, I knew going in that this was a historical themed game, but that at its heart it was an economic game. And I'm cool with that. I like stock markets and things like that. So I was very interested in trying this one out. Let's take a look. At the beginning of the game, players are going to pick which personality they're going to use. Thomas Edison, or Charles Brush, or Elihu Thomson, Nikola Tesla, or Sir Hiram Maxim. And so you're going to pick one of these guys. You'll notice they have different stats on the side. These stats will have different effects on the gameplay, and each also have a special ability. They each also come with their own company, so you will get preferred shares in the stock of your company. You can never sell these. These count as 4 shares or 4 stocks of your company. Now, the gameplay itself is going to take place over 6 rounds, which are in 3 phases. And at the beginning of a phase, you're going to have different people who are available, who you're going to be able to get. Each player is going to get 1. At the beginning of the second phase, they will also each come with a random stock from one of the companies. And these guys have stats too, no special abilities, just stats on them. And players are going to bid to get them, using money to win these folks over. And then, so at the beginning of the game, you'll start with your main character and one other person, and then you'll have 2 and then 3 more people as time goes by. Now, when you're using these people, you're going to be taking turns. Each round of the game, you're essentially going to take one of your people and flip them over to show that they've been used, and use them to take an action. Now, a single most important action probably is involving the stock market. Each player has shares, and their shares all start at $12,000, but they're going to move up and down as time goes by. When stocks are bought, they're going to go up in price. And they're going to go up in price like this, moving along these lines, going up and down like that. When stocks go down in price, they just move straight over, so they can drop dramatically. There's a number here at the bottom. These are profits at the beginning of each round. That's how much money you're going to get based on where your current stock is. So you can see as the game goes by, your stocks can go up very much in value. Now, how do you get your stocks up? Well, you're going to do that by building your company up here on this board. When you want to build this company, the first time you build one, you're going to have to build in a level 1 spot somewhere. So there, I built in Toledo. After that, you will expand your company by building next to you. You can skip spots, but you have to pay extra money to do that. However, to build in one of these areas, you are going to have the level of that city. At the beginning of the game, everyone is going to have different cubes here to show your levels in AC, DC, and then just your bulb technology. This is like your technology. And so one of the actions you can do is to increase your technology. And if you're the first person to increase with technology, you can also get the patent on that technology, and people can pay you to use it and so on. But to go to a level 2, you're going to need to either have your AC or DC up to level 2 and your bulb up to 2. To go to level 3 city, you have to have them up to one of them up to 3 and your bulb up to 3. So you're going to be moving along the tech tree here on each of these. There's also another place here, and you'll notice here that there's AC and DC. As the game goes by, there's going to be different cards available. For an action, you can take a card, which will often give you money. And then you can rearrange. Sometimes you can rearrange turn order, or you can rearrange this AC-DC track. And whenever you do that, it's going to make the stocks of the AC companies go up higher, or the DC companies go up higher, and some of them to go down in value each time that they're used. And the different companies, whoever has the highest in each company, you're considered to be an AC or a DC stock. Now, as you build these out here on the board, there's going to be a cost to building them, but as you build the different areas, it's also going to dramatically increase your stock. You can see here that if you build a city with a symbol like this, it's going to cost $12,000, but your stock is going to go up 6 spaces. So building a lot of these different cubes, expanding your empire, is a way to increase the value. Now, as you take these actions, when you use your character, you will either get discounts for taking the actions with money. When you take a propaganda action, and that's the kind of action where you're going to be moving up on these tracks. I mean, you want to go first, so you'll be moving on that track, or the AC and DC up and down. They'll give you different. You'll need the different stats to be able to move on the tech tree with the different things. So these stats are important. And again, each player is going to take actions until they're out of actions. You can combine people together to take one action. Usually you'll do that with technology to move farther. So you're going to be starting projects, expanding your technology, engaging in propaganda, and then buying and selling in the stock market. Again, you'll be adding some more people at the beginning of each phase. And at the end of the game, money itself, by the way, this looks like paper money, but it's actually kind of thick cardboard money instead. Money itself is not worth anything. At the end of the game, you're going to take all the stocks that you have, including your preferred shares of your own company, multiply that times the number where the different companies are, and whoever has the most value in shares is the winner of the game. As with the new science, I did enjoy here how they incorporated actual real personalities. I like to look at it. I didn't even know who half these people were, but I know they're all real historical people, and the game has an educational flair in that way. I like the concept of the game. I like being able to expand your empire, increase the value of your shares, and then have that stock market down there. And we'll get to the stock market in a second, but I liked how all that worked together. I also like the cubes are kind of boring, but the money is good quality. I'm not a big fan of paper money, but the cardboard money is fine and works in this game. I think the concepts of the game go well. When I explain it, it sounds good. And you can sense the but coming here, and that's because it is. The stock market is a punishing one, and I don't even really mind it that much, but your shares go down very fast, and someone else can make your shares go down simply by selling them. I can buy your share, and then in another turn I can sell your share, and I can use one of my guys who gives me discounts on that, and I can kind of hurt you a lot. Now, you can stop that by buying up your own shares, but that costs money, and it takes a while to get into it, and meanwhile, someone can manipulate the stock price, or they can simply hold on to something and sell a share and wait to a point where they know you can't afford to buy it back, and then buy it in a future term because they just make the stock price drop of your company. Again, that's not a big deal. Where the big deal is this. I think the concept of expanding your company is really neat. I think the concept of the technology tree and the propaganda is neat. But frankly, when it comes down to it, the whole game is about buying those stocks. It really is. When I first played it, I thought, wow, the stock market is the thing to do. The rest of the game, you could essentially ignore. A player could ignore their own company, just play the stock market and win. Now, if everybody does that, then everybody will have to be forced to do other things and all, but it will all come back to manipulating that stock market is what's really important. At the end of the game, owning the most stock can win you the game. You cannot do I'll put all the effort in my own company, buy my own stock. I'm not even sure that's an actual strategy. And I looked online, and apparently other people had a problem with this also. And everyone says, well, if you play a lot of different games, people will realize that this is a dominant strategy and they'll fight back against it. But I don't want a game with this one overbearing dominant strategy. And I think that in the end is going to be the downfall of Tesla vs. Edison. It's a solid game, but in the end, you can take out everything except the stock market. And I like stock market, that's fine, but why have all the rest of that game? That's a lot of chrome and trappings, and it's going to be tempting for people to do that. I also think a couple other things. I think the money stat on the characters is much more important than others. You're going to probably need a calculator to figure out the score at the end. There's a lot of this multiply by phases. There's just a little bit of fiddliness. Propaganda wasn't nearly as cool as it could be. Near the end of the game, people were running out of actions. Money's tight, or can be. You can get more money by doing different things. Propaganda is one, and buying and selling stock is another. And there's this give and take in the game, but it kind of all is focused around that one idea: buy and sell stock. And I wish that the game was more than that, because it certainly looks like it's more than that. So I almost liked it, right? It was good, and I actually didn't dislike playing the game, but when one part of the game is that powerful, it kind of drags the whole thing down, and I'm not sure a lot of people are going to like it. Dice Tower Judgment, almost!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!
Good.